Greetings from your queen of Ooga Booga, that is. Hi, everybody. I'm Sally Diane, and I'm here today to talk about the Trump kids. Now, I'm going to leave Tiffany and Barron out of it. We're just going to look at the big three, Don Jr., Eric, and the daughter wife herself, Ivanka. So, without further ado, we'll see how their next little while is going to go. We'll start out with Don Jr., and I'm using the Morgan Greer deck, very nice colorful deck, and I'm also going to use some gypsy cards as confirmation. Okay, Don Jr., Don Jr. So look at Don Jr., and what's the future hold for Don Jr.? So we look at his, just feels like I got two stuck together. I do. His past, his present, and his future. And we have his base, and we have his karma. Okay, so with Don Jr., when I look at the past and where he comes from, you've got the Queen of Swords reversed. And the Queen of Swords upright, she's about truth, and she's about seeing things clearly, and science and intellect and all that. But you reverse it, and you're talking about vindictiveness, you're talking about lies. If drugs are a part of it, that wouldn't surprise me at all, because he does have some fairly not good cards here. But where he's coming from is an area of lies and denial and just not niceness all in general. Then we look at what's going on right now, and you have the Three of Pentacles, but it's the Three of Pentacles reversed. If this was right side up, it would be talking about a job well done, careful plans well executed. But when you turn it upside down, it's about plans poorly and incompletely executed. There's kind of a randomness there, you know. I almost get the feeling like in his now, it's sort of like playing whack-a-mole. And he just feels like there's so many different things coming to him at once. He's really having a hard time focusing and dealing with it. I think that a lot of the election loss is coming down on his head. Then when I look at where he's going, well, let's look at his foundation, his karma first. You get his foundation, and you get the Eight of Wands reversed. And right side up, the Eight of Wands is about things going forward smoothly and quickly. It's about, it's actually a little bit about air travel and that. But you have it reversed, and that talks about things being slow, a lot of obstacles. It feels to me like this makes me feel like Don Jr. was a late bloomer that really never got off the launch pad. He really hasn't accomplished much in his life, even though he's appeared a lot on Fox News, and apparently he's actually written a book. Yeah, he can write. I didn't know either. But it just feels like this whole, at the foundation, all he gets is a lot of you can't do this and you can't do that. You know, but not a lot of direction. And when I look at his karma is the Five of Swords, and that's the card of taunting. That's a card of poor sportsmanship. It's a card of a poor winner, a poor loser. It's a card of not just being defeated, but being defeated in defeat kind of thing. And because I have the Five of Swords here, and because I have justice right in front of him, it feels like for him, he has got a lot of bad karma coming his way. It just feels like he's sort of made to be the laughingstock. Well, he already is, but in a way that he actually knows it. When I look at where he's going, you've got justice, but you've got justice reversed. And justice upright would talk about somebody who is innocent. Justice reversed talks about being found guilty. And I do believe that he will end up going to court about some of the stuff that's coming down. Quite frankly, I suspect that his brother Eric has provided information. We haven't looked at Eric yet, but I want to know why. Why is justice going so poorly for him? Yeah. I said I was going to use the gypsy cards, so let's just put some gypsy cards over it. Okay, so this. So first you have a card that it says sadness, but it's reversed. When I look at her, she seems to be looking out at what is, what's next, but she's blocked from doing that. You also have message ill-reversed. So there are a lot of things in this situation. He's kind of operating on 50% of the information he really needs to do a good job. And this is why he ends up being the one who bears the brunt of it. All the Trump corporation stuff is going to end up on his head. Okay, so that is Don Jr. Now I'm going to shuffle up the cards again, and let's look at Eric. Now Eric did some testifying, and we haven't heard much about what he had to say behind closed doors, have we? Excuse me. Okay. Eric Trump. What's going on? What's going on with Eric Trump? So we've got past, present, and future. We've got his foundation, and we have what crowns him. So when I look at his past, okay, we're going to move the cards down a little bit for the camera. There we go. And hopefully they're nice and in focus now. He's got a lot of major arcana on his base and in front of him. But when I look at the path he's on, when I look at his near past, you have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is about leaving material, something very comfortable, material behind you for your own happiness. So Eric might have turned a corner here and had an epiphany, because the path he's headed on is not the path of money, it's the path of doing the right thing, which surprises me too, trust me. But when I look at his present, there is the Empress, and the Empress is about children. The Empress is about babies. The Empress is about fertility and new beginnings. And I think at this point in time, he's walking away from the Trump Corporation crap for the good of his family, for the good of his wife. I look at his base, and he has Temperance. So something has happened with Eric where he found a conscience somewhere. He's found some balance. It's almost like he's gotten religion, but it shows him as being in balance. And right now, with Temperance, you've got 1 foot on land and 1 foot in the water, so it's a real tenuous balance. And I think that some of the things that he's already signed off on, some of the things he's already testified to, he hasn't told anybody about. Right now he's kind of in an in-between time where he has, 1 foot in one world and 1 foot in the other. When I look at his karma, you've got some cups poured out, and you've got the 5 of Cups. And the 5 of Cups is about a partial loss, but there's always something left. And usually, if it's upright, the character is focusing in on the cups. So it's a card of loss, but not a total loss. When it's reversed, which it is for him, it's gathering up what you have left and moving forward with your life. So I really feel like whatever he has already put in motion for himself to put him and his family on the right path will separate him from the rest of the Trumps. He is going to end up being shunned, if you will. And that's what I see happening right here. But he turns his back. He turns his back on his family, on his birth family, his first family, for the sake of his current family, for the sake of his wife and children. And when I look at the path ahead, you have judgment, but it's judgment reversed. And so when I look at the path ahead, I notice that we've got these blue characters are a family, a husband, a wife, a child kind of thing. And so I see him with his little family unit, but I also see him kind of, he'll always miss the gilded Trump world. He'll always miss that, but he is turning his back on that. And just to see the characters involved, the characters are involved in Eric's life. Let's see what the Gypsy cards have to say about Eric's future. Just put some confirmation cards. And we have the Lover reversed. And it's funny, the Lover reversed is half man, half woman kind of character. But, like the vaudevillian one where the guy would grow a mustache on one side and put lipstick on the other side of his face, right? And so that's what I see right here. And it tells me that, again, there's this idea of being in two worlds, but since it's reversed, he's finally going to be choosing one path. And it's the path of the family man that he's choosing. Yeah, he's going to end up being cut off from his family. He'll be called an enemy. Okay, but I'm surprised that he's on this path, and I hope he finds happiness on this path quickly, because I think it's a better path than the one he was born to. So let's see what's happening with the one, the only, the Ivanka. Okay, so let's look. Ivanka Trump. Sorry for the noise. Ivanka Trump. What's the future hold for Ivanka Trump? Okay. Miss Ivanka. Okay, so tell us about Ivanka Trump. Okay. Sorry I close my eyes so much when I shuffle. I just can't help myself. It's a force of habit, folks. Okay, so past, present, future. Well, her foundation and her karma. So when I look at her near past, you have the Four of Wands. But the Four of Wands is like this happy little community where everybody works together. And she's all happy in that. And you've got the castle. So I think that right up to now, Ivanka has felt very regal, very what's the word I'm looking for? Elitist, very elitist, in kind of an ivory tower. I almost feel like an ivory tower. And she just reveled in her life of the ivory tower. And is built on the Five of Swords. That's her foundation. And the foundation, it's the card of basically meanness. It's a card of jealousy. It's a card of competition gone wrong. And the idea that's reversed, it just feels like it's even more wrong. It's even more vicious competition. It's really cutthroat. And this is the world she's, not only the world she was raised in, but the world she flourishes in. She really does. She likes all the way her dad is and the way her dad mean mouths everybody. She's the same way. She's exactly the same way. And you have the Ten of Cups in her now, but it's the Ten of Cups reversed. So she's going from the Four of Wands with this ivory tower to the Ten of Cups. You know, that happy home, that perfect life turned upside down. And when the cups are reversed, of course, you got happiness and love and everything else pouring out, pouring out, pouring out. So she's seen an end to an era that her lifestyle has come to an end. And her karma is the ill-aspected Knight of Swords. You know, and he's a bit of a bull in a china shop, and even more so reversed. And I really think that's her dad, and that she's going to follow right along behind her dad. I'm sure that when her dad leaves, he will take her with him, her and her family, and him and Melania and Baron. But he'll leave all the other 4 of his children behind. No, 3. There's the other 3 children behind. But when I look at the near future, you have the Hermit. And the Hermit is somebody who is going to someplace cold and alone. So there's this idea of isolation. So she is going to be removed from the life she knows. And she is going to have to start over again. And it's going to feel like a step down for her. It feels almost like she's going to have to live a commoner's life for a while. And she might be in an area where she has to budget and all the sort of stuff she's never had to do in her life. Let's see about, but just to reiterate, she is going to escape with her dad. Yeah, she has the officer reversed. So the officer reversed, I almost see that as being her dad. You know, Bone Spur Donnie. You know, that he never really was an officer, and yet he does right now hold the highest military job in the land, Commander-in-Chief. And this is reversed. So as the Commander-in-Chief becomes the shamed Commander-in-Chief, the failed Commander-in-Chief, then they go on a journey. So she does have a journey coming up, and it is one that's going to put her in a more modest lifestyle, and she is going to feel isolated. I think wherever they're going, there's mountains. There's a mountain view. Okay, so that is Ivanka, and that are the 3 Trump kids. Donnie testifies, Ivanka escapes. No, Eric testifies, Ivanka escapes, and Donnie pays for it all. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe and tell all your friends about me, and tune in on Sunday nights from 9 to 10 Eastern Time when your queen, Sally Diane, and her producer go live to answer your questions and tell some stories from the metaphysical world. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great week.